Hello, everyone. I'm Katie Wanger, Norwex Independent Consultant, and today I'm here to answer the question, what is Norwex Microfiber and how does it work? If you think of microfiber, you may think of an automotive store or a dollar store. I can get it in all kinds of places. It's kind of a dime a dozen as far as cleaning cloths go. But if you do purchase them from those places, you'll find that they're thin, they stick to your fingers, they don't do a great job of cleaning. And the difference between those cloths and Norwex cloths is significant. So the first way they're different, typical microfiber cloths need to be the size of 1/6 the size of a piece of human hair. So if I were to take one piece of my hair here and split it lengthwise into 6 pieces, that's your typical microfiber cloth. Norwex microfiber, on the other hand, if I would take that same piece of hair and split it lengthwise 200 times, that's the size of the fiber used to create Norwex microfiber. I cannot even fathom how small that is. So, because it is so tiny, those fibers are so tiny, that makes the cloths so densely woven that they are able to pick up and remove 99% of bacteria from a surface when used and cared for properly. So I want to introduce you to the most popular cleaning cloth that Norwex has, and that would be the EnviroCloth. This is the EnviroCloth. This is the EnviroCloth, and it is your E for everything cloth. So I can clean anything with it. I can clean my high chair tray, my table, my counter, my baby's toys. I've used it to clean a mattress with just water and this cloth. So the second way that Norwex microfiber is different is that fiber being so tiny and it's so dense, if I were to unravel this cloth, it would stretch from the Canada to the Gulf of Mexico. And the fibers in it are shaped like a star or a flower. And so that means that it's designed to pick up and hold on to anything that those small particles of bacteria that are on your surface. Again, removing that 99% of bacteria from your surface with proper care and use. And I'll get to the third one in a minute. So I want to demonstrate how this works. I want you to think of a garden. And if I have a weed in my garden, I could spray some weed killer on that weed, and that weed will die. It does work. That is that's similar to a chemical clean, something that you would clean with something like this. I'm sure that we've all used these at one point in our life, even if we've never purchased them ourselves. So these use a chemical clean, and they do work, but they're going to leave that dead bacteria and that residue of the chemical behind, just like the weed killer leaves the dead weed behind. Alternatively, Norwex microfiber uses a mechanical clean. And go back to that same weed, and instead of spraying it with weed killer, rather I'm going to, as the gardener, reach down and pull it out by the roots and completely remove it from my garden. There's no residue, there's no dead weed left behind, there's just an empty space where it had been. That is how the Norwex microfiber cleans. It picks up and removes the bacteria and debris from your surface, and then you go to the sink and rinse it away. It's no longer on your surface. There's nothing left behind that needs to be killed. It's just gone. So let me demonstrate this with Glow Germ, which is a fine powder that's used in science classes and other places to represent and show how bacteria is spread. You can see I'm going to put a little here on my board. Just pat it around so it doesn't decide to roll off when I show it to you. You can see it glows under a black light. All right. So in the past, I may have grabbed one of these disinfectant wipes. And if you read the back of it, this one says that it needs to be used, wiped long enough, so with enough wipes so that the surface remains visibly wet for 4 minutes. Now that is multiple wipes. It's not just one wipe and you're done. That's multiple wipes, and I have to sit there and make sure that it stays wet for 4 minutes in order to kill the bacteria. It also mentions that for visibly soiled surfaces, clean it first. And for surfaces that may come in contact with food, a potable water rinse is required. So if I'm using it in my kitchen or on my high chair tray, or maybe my baby's toys that she puts in her mouth, I have to go back with a potable water and rinse off the residue so that I am not ingesting it then. Let me show you here. I'm going to take this wipe and I'm going to just clean half of this so that we can see how it does. Just like I'm cleaning my kitchen, I'm going to wipe off my counters. And I'm going to see, let's see what happens with the black light here. Do you see the streaks? Let me turn this light off so we can see it maybe a little better. Ooh, there, we can see the streaks and how it's left a residue behind and kind of just smeared it around. I'm going to take my EnviroCloth and fold it into quarters so that I can have good surface contact. And all right, I have good surface contact and I can get as much off as I can. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to just simply go straight down the middle so we can see the difference between that disinfecting wipe and the EnviroCloth. Look at that. You have a visible streak that is completely clean, and then you've got these other streaks here that were left behind. So now I'm going to come back and just clean it up entirely. And there's nothing left behind, no streaks. So if I'm in my kitchen then and I am wanting to continue to clean up my mess from making my supper, and I come back and, oh, I spilled something on the counter, you can see here on my EnviroCloth where I was using it visibly. Without the black light, you can see it there, and it glows under the black light. And if I come back with that same spot and I come back and clean up my kitchen counter, the job of the Norwex microfiber is to hold on to, you can see there's no streaks left. That line down the middle is gone, there's no streaks. The Norwex microfiber, its job is to hold on to any of that debris that it has picked up on that bacteria. So it's not going to transfer it to other places on your counter. It's not going to transfer it from one place to another. So now I take it to my sink and I rinse it under hot water. Just kind of give it a little scrub against itself, and I wring it and rinse it till the water runs clear. I wring it out and hang it up to dry. And as I do, this is the third thing that is different about Norwex microfiber from other microfiber cloths. It includes, it has silver ions embedded within the cloth. And those silver ions, we call it our backlock technology, those silver ions go to work as soon as that water hits it to inhibit the growth of mold and bacteria, so that over a 24-hour period, it actually will self-purify the cloth itself so that I don't have to wash it every time. Unless I have cleaned my whole house and it's super saturated with junk, then I don't have to wash it every time. I can simply use it to clean up, rinse it, wring it, hang it up, and then it's ready to use the next time around. And then I wash it on wash day. So super simple. And I'm so thankful that I can clean up to 90% of my house with just a cloth and water, with no need for those chemical sprays and chemical wipes.